What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Crypto Empire, where we dominate the crypto market. My name is Connor, and we're back for another crypto live stream. Let's not waste any time. Good morning to everyone, by the way. Hope you're having a great start to your day. It's about to get even better right now with the Crypto Empire live stream. Let's get into it. So, taking a look at things at large right now, we are still in very bullish conditions. We have not experienced any type of pullback whatsoever on the main coins, on the majors. Taking a look right now, we can see that Bitcoin is still at 118K. Ethereum continues to push higher. It is Ethereum season. Right now, ETH is trading for $3,436. XRP also just all gas, no brakes. You guys remember on our Sunday live stream, I was repeating that. Well, now you see what I mean. It's just up only at the moment with many of these altcoins, right? Solana at 176, pushing 200. Cardano also pushing. Everything is green. Looking at Crypto Bubble's top 100, the only red coins we have here are Pump Fun. We have Pump Fun and then Pengu. But Pengu went up 200% in like 5 days. Now, real quick, before we get into this market, right, here's Bitcoin. Like I said, the action is not on Bitcoin right now. It's all on altcoins. But I just want to go ahead and address something really funny to start off the live stream. And this has to do with Pump Fun being negative on the day. So before I show this tweet, I just want to say that I have zero problem with any ethnic group or any religions. I'm friends with people from all around the world, and I have nothing against anybody. All right? So let's get into this. This is a joke. Let's see. All right. So this was really interesting. This person's using one of these DEX bots, right? He's using Axiom, which shows you, it's much like BullX, where it shows you if the developer of a meme coin who deployed it is buying or selling. Well, something appeared yesterday on one of these applications with the Pump Fun token. There was a big fat red circle that says DS. This means the dev is selling. Now, the dev is selling 102K sold at a 5.7 billion market cap. The Pump Fun dev. Now, again, it's just a joke, but this was the founder of Pump Fun's tweet on July 16th. So the signs were always there, right? The developers are selling. We shouldn't be surprised to see Pump Fun red. Can this thing make a crazy comeback and pump hard? Well, of course it can, right? I'm sure they plan to pump it at some point in time because their direct competition, which is Bonk, is just up and to the right through the roof. It's just not stopping, eating resistance levels. But anyways, that's a little bit of a funny joke. The signs were always there, lads. The signs were always there, right? But anyways, that's our red coin right now out of the top 100. That's literally the only big down move that we're seeing right now. In regards to other things, other metrics, Bitcoin is still range bound. The most bullish scenario possible is currently happening, where Bitcoin goes sideways and altcoins pump. This directly is going to affect the dominance ratios in the market. That's why we're seeing Bitcoin dominance crater. It is cratering. And looking at the weekly candle, we are now lower than these candle body closes from May. And we have the wick or the previous swing lows coming into play down here at around 61.89%. So a weekly candle close here confirms the top, in my opinion, with a close below here. But this would be ultra confirmation if the weekly candle for Bitcoin dominance closes here below 62%. That simply means that we are actually going to see this thing just fall basically to 50%. In my opinion, it's going to be a pretty crazy time, much like what we're seeing right now. Basically, the conditions we have right now are going to just get amplified even further. And it can happen so quickly. That's what's really important to understand. These periods of risk on in the market, they don't come that often. And when they come, it's like a thief in the night how fast they are. They're in and out. Blink, it's over. It could be a few weeks, could be a month, could be 6 weeks. But I mean, think about it. 4 weeks, 6 weeks. There's 52 weeks in a year. It's such a small fraction of time that we get these really bullish risk on conditions. So we must be fully dialed in and really present for the next 3, 4, 6 weeks. Who knows how long it's going to last for, but Bitcoin dominance essentially is confirming the top, and we'll really know for sure after this weekly candle. But come on, let's be real. This thing is cratering, and it's likely going to continue to crater down lower. Also, with that being said, we'll look at stablecoin dominance in a moment, but let's look at the ratio between Ethereum and Bitcoin currently. 0.29, all right, gaining market share very quickly. With Bitcoin going sideways and Ethereum pumping, Ethereum is gaining market share on Bitcoin. Now, this is amazing. This is why we're seeing altcoins do so well, right? We need Ethereum to outperform Bitcoin. And we have cleared the daily 200 EMA, right? We can certainly come and retest that daily 200 EMA. Many coins will often do that on a big breakout. But in my opinion, once we do go ahead and close above this next previous swing high, we're going to gap up to the yearly open, which is coming in at 0.35. When ETH BTC goes up, it's altcoin season. Like we're in altcoin season, right? It always gets more and more progressively crazy as the parabola goes on. Think about what happened in December and January 2025. Remember the Trump inauguration? That was the top, right? The parabola, it was at the top then. Remember how just absurd it was with these meme coins launching and going to $1 billion market cap? It was so ridiculous, so absurd. So the curve gets progressively steeper. We're still pretty early on in this curve, right? In the altcoin season curve. It's going to get even wilder and even more degenerate and probably more retarded. All right, we're somewhere like around here right now. We still have all of this way to go in terms of the altcoin season risk curve and how absurd it's going to get. We're already seeing new meme coins just pop out of nowhere left and right. We're seeing them go from, a few $100,000 market cap to the tens of millions overnight, just like what happened in November and December. I'm not sure how people are still gambling on those, but they are, right? People are always going to gamble. Their back is against the wall right now with inflation, with the economy. Trust in government is weakening more than ever. People feel like their back is against the wall, so they feel like they have to gamble their way to financial freedom, and that is the crypto market right now in a nutshell in this risk-on environment. So anyways, ETH BTC going up, it's a great thing overall. It's amazing. Now, let's get into USDT dominance. So this is just still going sideways. And this is a big level down here, 4.14%. We've talked about this one at length. And basically it was Sunday and Monday, I was saying I expect this to run to this target, and that means altcoins are going to continue to go up. Well, you can see this thing really hasn't dropped that much this week, but with Bitcoin dominance going lower, we're seeing money rotate out of Bitcoin into alts, not necessarily out of stablecoins right now, because this is not really dropping that much. I expect this to run into 4.14% into this 2-day level. This is going to, when this hits, we have to be very careful about a pullback, right? Or a liquidity flush out, something. It hasn't hit yet, which means we're likely going to continue to pump for now. When you see this hit this level down here, that's when to be really cautious, okay? There is the chance it just slices right through it, right? For sure, it can just slice right through it. But that doesn't just mean we max long into it, okay? We've already discussed a lot of long entries from earlier in the week at much lower prices. We want to use this level as a take profit, look for a possible retracement, and then catch the next big swing down to the macro target at 3.3%. That's the idea on stablecoin dominance. That's how I'm looking at it currently. Let me get into this live chat right now, guys. Big shout out to the Silva Dollar. Big shout out to All Day Dre. Smash up that like button, guys. Let's go. Let's get some hype in here. It's already really hyped up. Shout out to Green Chili Pepper as well as Random19. He says, do you see the local top happening for all coins? Well, I just kind of discussed this. I don't think we're going to see the local top until we see this level hit on stablecoin dominance. We can also look at StableC.D and see that it's not too far away from its own kind of major level here, coming in at 6.57%. So yeah, I mean, I don't think we're going to see the really aggressive pullback until this is hit, but it could come like today. It can come very quick. Now I understand these coins. Like let's look at ETH. Right, here's ETH on the daily time frame. It ran the targets. Okay, target up here was basically this red supply area as well as the yearly open at 3,300. Targets have been hit. Beautiful thing to see, right? Very aggressive move here from 2,500 up to 3,400. Now, on the lower time frames, I mean, there's all types of signs, right? There's all types of like bearish divergence on all these coins. Locally on the 1 hour time frame, you have it here on ETH, right? There's reasons to be cautious currently. It is definitely not the time to just go crazy and open up a bunch of new, fresh, long trades. That goes without saying. But yeah, there's all types of signs on the lower time frame, on the higher time frame. You know, look where we are. We're at a major horizontal level resistance, right? Just look at what's happened here on the chart, right? Price does not necessarily spend a lot of time above this level, and we see very steep drops from this price level. We've seen it many times in the past. So it's a warrant for caution right now on Ethereum. But without stablecoin dominance hitting that key level just yet, it might just keep on going straight up. It's not a guarantee, but it could happen, okay? And if you look at some of these other coins like XRP, for example, also just completely absurd. Like this price action, up only. This is the daily time frame. Once it took off down here from $2, the low twos, straight up here to $3.23. It's currently above the previous swing high here from January of 2025. Okay, so if this daily candle closes above this previous swing high, it is essentially a guarantee, in my opinion, that it's going to go to a new all-time high. With that being said, it may want to pull back into a level first and then move into an all-time high. So again, it's just not the time to be buying this thing now or opening a fresh long trade now, right? We want to buy the eventual pullback whenever that does actually come. But XRP, what a move. What a move, right? Out of the low twos down here. Remember, we talked about that on video. Straight up here to 325. It looks poised for a brand new all-time high very soon. Anyways, shout out to Give Me the Chalupa. What is up? We also have Scorch888. What's up, lad? How are you? And Green Chili Pepper. He says, ETH is defying the bears. Yeah, ETH is finally having its time to shine. It's a big moment in the sun. And it's a beautiful thing, man. I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying the pump. Anyways, Dogecoin here. Taking a look at Doge. So I want to discuss this. By the way, shout out to Ahad Musarat and Dan Griffiths, as well as FBS, commenting on the shirt. Appreciate you, brother. And Hugo C. What's up, Hugo? How are you, man? And we got Raja. What's up, Raja? We got a guy named Jiminy Cricket with a funny comment, too. Anyways, let's look at Doge here. So Doge gave us that picture perfect pullback into the 3-day, and it's up, what, 12% from that level? It's up 12% from that price. It did go up as high as 16%. So, yeah, I mean, this was textbook right into the level. You basically just had to trust the bull trend. Now, the thing I want to discuss is what happens in real risk-on conditions. And just as an example of what happens in real risk-on conditions, right? Stuff like this happens. Let's just put a box around this. Right, we get stuff like this, where we just see insane price action. Another example would be, that's the most relevant example we have here. What happened in December 2024. So the point of me bringing this up right now is, if we're really about to get crazy, there's going to just be really big green candles week after week after week. Now, in those big green weekly candles, there for sure could be 1 or 2 red days that result in like pullbacks of 20% plus, only to then get eaten up and pump up higher again. But the point I'm making is, if we're really going into this true altcoin season, which every sign and every indicator is pointing to right now, it's probably going to look something like this on many charts on many different coins. So, I mean, yeah, like it's about to get crazy. It's about to get really crazy. It's already been crazy for sure. But when things actually truly accelerate, right, for 2, 3, 4 weeks nonstop, it's just nothing but green and up. Right, Bitcoin dominance going to 50%. ETH making new all-time highs, things like that. It's all going to result in coins. Doge is a prime example, right? We can chart Doge, for example, versus other altcoins. Let's do that real quick. Let's chart Doge versus... what's a coin that's been performing really good recently? SEI, S-E-I, right? Everyone's talking about SEI. So let's chart Doge versus SEI. And you can see that it's not doing great after a big period of outperformance at the end of last year. But Doge is losing versus SEI, right? If you look at Doge versus something like SUI, right, we can just compare them against one another. Whoops, looks like I typed that in wrong. There we go. If we look at Doge versus SUI here, it is at the bottom, okay? So this is basically telling us that Dogecoin is probably going to put in a big period of outperformance versus many of these other coins. Anyways, yeah, that's just something to keep in mind right now, right? A lot of other coins have done super well. If you pair them up against one another, you can see that Doge is really undervalued. But anyways, I digress. We'll see if we get the breakout past our red box. Doge cannot go any higher until it clears this red box level, this resistance. Just look to the left and you'll understand why. It's a major support resistance flip level here, around 21 cents. So we'll see if Doge can get through the box. Overall, we're in a very aggressive uptrend. Okay, if you want to short again, it would be counter trend. So you have to be very, very precise with your entries. But overall, once this breaks, 30 cents is coming like a flash in the pan, like a thief in the night. Anyways, we were talking about Algorand yesterday on stream, and no dipping, right? With XRP pumping, it's still just kind of holding its Monday range, going completely sideways. We'll see now as we do approach the end of the week, right? We're approaching the weekend now tomorrow with Friday. So we'll see what happens to close the week out. Weekly candle so far has left a pretty big wick up higher. We'll see if Algorand wants to fill this wick and close the weekly candle with a big girthy green one like it did last week or not. We're going to find out shortly, but with the ISO coins pumping like XRP, Cardano, XLM, I think it's only a matter of time before Algorand starts to really kind of put in a move too. But yeah, a lot of people are talking about Algorand. It's a lot of hype right now around the project. Now let's take a look real quick, guys. So if you're not following me on X, go and follow me on X, all right? I'm going to be doing a Twitter Spaces in 45 minutes, 44 minutes actually, with Atlantis. I'm also running a giveaway right now with Atlantis on Monad. So if you're not following me, guys, go and follow me ASAP and participate in this giveaway, right? You can get some whitelist spots for the Atlantis IDO. You can get testnet Mon tokens. Go check it out. Follow me on X2 at CSellCrypto. Get on it. Now, moving on to some other relevant news. Base and Coinbase just introduced a massive update to the Coinbase wallet. And they're turning the Coinbase wallet essentially into an everything app for crypto. They integrated Farcaster or Warpcaster, which is essentially an on-chain social network. They've introduced Base Pay, which is essentially like a Shopify integration where you can pay with USDC very, very easily on Base with like no fees. And they did a major presentation as well at this Coinbase Summit, Coinbase conference that just happened. But yeah, major updates right now out of Base. Okay, go and see what I've recorded a video already. It should be out soon about this update. But go check it out on your own, and you can be even ahead of my video when I go ahead and release that soon. But yeah, big update on Base. Now, when it comes to Base coins, first of all, Aerodrome. Let's go take a look at Aerodrome. So Aero right now in the daily time frame is at resistance. Every single coin is at resistance. Every single coin is at resistance. Aero now is not closed above the previous swing high just yet. Okay, so there's no confirmed breakout per se as of right now. I do expect this to trade higher, as well as most Base coins to continue to trade higher. Right now, however, in resistance, right? In resistance here, it doesn't really make too much sense to force anything. So in terms of what to do right now on Aerodrome, there's nothing to do, right? I wouldn't really do anything here. Looking at some other DeFi coins on Base, right? There's stuff like Moonwell, which is starting to wake up a bit. Lending and borrowing DeFi coin here did really well in 2024, and it went and bottomed out significantly lower than where it was. But the thing I see here on Moonwell is just the flip of the daily 200 EMA, which is a very bullish sign, okay? So it's pointing towards a bullish chart that wants to trade higher. Whether it pulls back first, whether it just chops around for another week, or whether it just pumps from here, I'm not sure. But just flipping that daily 200 EMA, it's a very good sign on the higher time frame. I mean, Base is going to blow some people's minds here soon, in my opinion. It's going to be some juicy, juicy gains there. Other coins like Toshi, for example, or Toshi, depending on where you're from and what accent you have, will determine how you say Toshi or Tashi. But it's still the same coin, the same asset. And you can see it's doing well right now, right? It's coming back to life. It's pumping. Most Base coins are, right? Let's take a look at something like TREB, back to 30 cents, right? It's a micro cap, but overall it's still holding the structure. We are not seeing any lower lows in terms of the bottom structure over here from April. So we want to see this support level continue to hold. And I mean, it's a micro cap, not really much use charting it, but hey, maybe this is a downtrend breakout. We'll see some upside here. Time will tell. But overall, in general, what else can we look at? KeyCat, Miggles. Right, here's Mr. Miggles. Remember, it was Miggles' birthday the other day. It turned 1 year old. Somebody bought 100 grand and they pushed the price up. It was out of the accumulation zone. It's back in the accumulation zone now at the top of it, but still within the accumulation range that we've set here on the channel. And then also as well, there's stuff like Keyboard Cat up 10% on the day, doing well with the Coinbase news. And this is the weekly time frame. As you can see, 50 million market cap. On the daily, it's definitely not in that bottom accumulation sub 30 million anymore. So it's definitely not the best price to buy, but I think there's going to be upside, right? I think Base coins are going to do extremely, extremely well. Now with that, real quick before we move on from Base, I think the coins that are going to do the best are the ones that are integrated extremely tightly with this new Coinbase update, right? For example, I mentioned how Farcaster or Warpcaster is a part of that, and that's the DGen token. Now, the problem with DGen is it's been pumped and dumped so hard by whales in the past, right? This coin's just been pumped and dumped ruthlessly by whales. Look at the chart, right? This thing's just been a pump and dump for whales. Are they going to pump it again? It's possible, right? Because it came in, it filled in the bottom demand zone down here in April. But I mean, the connections to Coinbase are very, very apparent and obvious. Right? DGen is a reward token for Farcaster users, born from meme culture. So keep an eye on this one. I mean, yeah, it really just depends on if the whales want to pump it again. They pumped it over here in November. They pumped it over here in April 2024. Will they do it again? It's quite possible. It looks bottomed out, but who knows? And then there's also a Clanker, which is token bot. And this basically allows you to launch meme coins, right? We've talked about meme coins that have launched through Clanker in the past. Some have done well, some not so well. But this is basically just like Pump Fund, but it's the base version of it. So if this gets integrated into Coinbase, well, I mean, it could do well. Okay, so this is a play that it doesn't look horrible, as you can see, coming off of this bottom support, breakout bull flag on the daily, right? Maybe it comes and tests the bottom of the flag, but overall, I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing increase with this new base update out right now, guys. So anyways, that's just a little base news. Check it out if you haven't. Let's see. We have Georgios 82100 in the building. What's up, Georgios? How are you? Any opinion on Zig Chain? I don't think I like this coin, man. I think this thing was shilled hard by the cabal, right? It's been around for a while. 7 million up to 144 million. Okay, maybe I'm thinking of a different one. Maybe not. I'm not too sure, but I haven't really looked into this thing. I don't have an opinion on it. The chart is completely dead sideways on the weekly after flushing the lows. It looks like the OX. It looks exactly like the OXO chart, actually, kind of. Right? Go look at the OXO chart. Yeah, not exactly like it, but just choppy. When they move, they should all move together. All the ETH AI coins, right? Whenever they move, they're probably all going to move at the same exact time. So Zig, OXO, whatever other AI shitter you have on ETH, they're all probably going to move at the same time. Anyways, let's get into some stuff we're doing inside of the mastermind right now. So we do have Neo sharing some of his trades right now. Anyways, some stuff we're looking at, right? We took a long on SPK. Shout out to Neo, by the way. But this is a new coin that was airdropped recently, SPK. And we went ahead and took this long last night. After price went ahead and swept the Monday low, we were just looking for a pretty simple trendline break, right, after a Monday low sweep. And we do have it so far. So the interesting thing about something like this, right, just a trade, but, you know, we'll see if it does well. The interesting thing is the market cap compared to the daily 24-hour volume, right? 33 million market cap. If the volume was lower than 30 million, I wouldn't want to touch this token. General rule of thumb is you want to trade tokens, especially if you're using leverage futures. They need decent volume, like at least 25 million or $30 million of daily 24-hour volume is needed, in my opinion, if you're going to trade a coin. So something like this with such a low market cap at 33 million and volume higher, right? It is interesting. So we'll see. This is a new coin. It was airdropped and it went through the airdrop dump. The market structure has shifted from a downtrend to a sideways accumulation. We have that double bottom W and the trend line break. We'll see if we get a little bit of a run here. Okay, we're currently targeting these highs, but we'll see how we go. Okay, we will see how we go. If you guys are interested in trading with us and you're not in the Crypto Empire Mastermind, well, what you can do is sign up to Blofin using the link down in the description below. Okay, and then once you sign up to Blofin, you can use the next link, which will take you to the Telegram bot to get you in the Telegram group if you sign up with the link to Blofin. We're going to start sharing the trades in there as well. Okay, so if you're not in the mastermind, I would suggest you do that while you still can. Link down in the description below. But that's just one trade currently. And then there's also Swarms, which really hasn't moved hard just yet. But we'll see, right? These are low cap like shit coins. If you look at Swarms, right? This is 24 million. Now that like the volume is very low. So this is like a true like total shit coin. But yeah, anyways, obviously risk is managed. Chart does not look bad at all. We'll see if we get this trend line to hold after our Monday low sweep. It's just a basic triangle Monday low sweep consolidation. Being that we're in an aggressive bull trend, we're just kind of looking for a breakout. Okay, we're using a more aggressive entry edge here, entry strategy, but still everything is set up well. Okay, we're not necessarily using a hidden order block to enter these. All right, we're taking a more aggressive approach using that trend line strategy that I shared with you guys on Sunday. But anyways, that's just what we're some other stuff we're doing right now, some stuff we're looking at. We'll see how we go. And overall, I mean, look, other positions, stuff like Axie continuing to pump up, right? So we'll see if we do get that gaming season. But overall, I mean, this, again, like, it's not really the time to be buying stuff. Why? Look at Axie. Let's go to the 2-day. No, the 1 day is maybe the 3-day. No, the 1 day is the best here. But on the 1 day, all right, we just have a big daily supply zone. So maybe we pull back from here. All right, maybe we end up pulling back from here on Axie. And then we get that nice juicy level on the 12-hour 225. Right? Maybe it just takes off. It's hard to say. But overall, right, with this thing pushing up and making new fresh highs, you know, it's so dangerous to be a buyer here in this supply zone. Because if it does dip to 225, you're going to be mad at yourself. Like, why did I buy it here? I knew I should have waited. But if it takes off and you don't buy, you're going to be like, I knew I should have bought. So it's this dilemma, right? It's a bit of a dilemma. I'm trying to think of another synonym for this scenario. Conundrum. It's a bit of a conundrum. But this is why it's so important to be positioned from lower, basically. Okay, this is why it's important to be positioned from lower, so you don't end up in a conundrum like this. Anyways, we're in a bull market, so I'm expecting this to continue to go up. Whether or not it pulls back, I don't know. Whether it hits 225, I don't know. I know I'm a buyer down here. If it does, I would add. But if it doesn't, I mean, you just have to live with the fact that it's going to pump because we're in a bull market. Right? Tau, another one. Like, look at this chart. Remember on Sunday when we set up this trade live, okay? What did it result into? It resulted in a move of 13%. Not bad. But the problem is, look at it. We're at the yearly open. We hit this supply level. Everything right now is pointing towards danger. Like, everything is pointing towards a breakdown. This is a triple drive, right? This is a triple drive. Didn't quite hit the last trend line, but it's still a triple drive where you have one peak, two peaks, a third peak. Look at the RSI. It is down, right? This is heavy bearish divergence. So right now, I would be quite cautious. Like, if we're going to get a pullback, this is the logical level we're going to get it from. It's going to come from around here, from this big resistance, 443, 450. Yearly open supply on the daily. Where may it pull back to? I think if you pull back down here to the 380 level, 380s, it's a buy. It's a buy. I'm not sure you're going to get something like all the way back down to like 300 or something. I don't think you will get that. Okay. More likely than not, if you pull back below $400, you want to be looking for an entry below 400. And then you want to ride that train up higher to a new all-time high. But it doesn't make sense to be a buyer here at this major resistance. It's a level to take profit on your longs. That's it, basically. You can open up a short if you want, especially if you're holding spot. You can look to hedge your spot holdings. Many different approaches to take. But overall, it's just, this is a target. It hit the target. The chart shows a reason to look for a pullback. So just be a little bit careful with going crazy risk on something like that right now. Let's see what else. Let me catch up with the chat, see if we have any good stuff going on in the live chat, anything cool to look at. Remember, guys, we're going to catch the next mega narrative in crypto right here on the channel. In 2024 and the start of 2025, we had the AI agent boom. Okay, before that we had the meme coin boom. With this price action, with all of the mania and hysteria coming back to crypto, we're going to get another boom. It's going to be in one specific altcoin sector, like it was in the past with AI agents or with meme coins. We have to keep our finger on the pulse, because if we don't have the finger on the pulse, we won't be able to be early to the next new mega narrative and be able to catch 30x's overnight, which is what happens during the mania phases of the cycle. So let's see what you guys are looking at here in the chat. Shout out to Shane. What up, Shane? Shout out to Crypto Maniac. We got Eric Royston as well. We got Schwambo. What up, Schwambo? Thoughts on Chain GPT? Go to Crypto Rank. I don't think it's got the best looking stats there. And it's also an older coin that has seen some market cycles before now, so. All right, lads, we're lagging. Here we go. We're back. CGPT. So it's done really well for all the investors of this coin. This was a banger pre-sale for all of the KOLs that got in, not me. Does it list it here? No. 10% TGE. Does it done vesting? Or they've unlocked 85%. And they have a release. $97 million today is being released. Anyways, whatever. That's the tokenomics. Most is already in circulation. It looks like a lot of other AI lower cap coins right now. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't look bad. I'm not going to say to buy this thing. I have no interest in it. But it doesn't look bad. Shout out to Colebrook Capital. He says, as always, expert TA, I appreciate you and how generous you are with sharing your knowledge. Bought a lot of bottom line coins because of what you share. Thanks again. Hey, no problem, man. Love to see comments like that. That's why I do what I do, brother. Appreciate the support. Shout out to Fiendsta. What up, Fiendsta? As well as Lee J. Say meme coins. Say meme coins. Interesting. Shout out to D Jenny from the blockchain, aka Moby Sage. He says, the more content creators I watch, the more I realize we just need one, the legend. If you know, you know. I appreciate that. Moby Sage, aka D Jenny from the blockchain. What's up, man? I already did share the news about the Coinbase app, D Jenny. I'm not sure if you saw that or you just joined late. But overall, say meme coins. What are some say meme coins to look at? Because I don't know any say meme coins. I haven't checked up on that narrative at all. Link at 17. So one thing that I noticed, and I'm sure you guys, if you're actively trading and you're on the charts, you've noticed as well, is that right before the daily close, whatever time zone you're in, the daily close, but typically it's going to be like 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But they pump it right into the daily close. That's something that's been happening, okay? So if you're in longs, you're probably going to get the pump if it's going to pump right before the daily close. For example, Link isn't a good example, but anyways, it happens on many different coins. Because basically they'll pump it up 10% right before the close. The close happens, so you get a new daily candle. Then if you look at the daily performance, it might be negative 1% because a new candle just opened up. But meanwhile, it just pumped up like 10, 12% right before the close. It's just a little way to trick retail to make them not even understand what's going on. Because they check their trading view, oh, it's down 1%, new daily candle. Nah, the daily candle closed 2 minutes ago, it's up 12%. So anyways, that's just one little thing to look at that most people will for sure overlook. These are the details that you got to see, you know what I'm saying, to see through the matrix. But anyways, here's Chainlink, very aggressive bullish chart. Another one that is in a higher time frame supply area, so it doesn't necessarily make much sense to just go FOMOing into Chainlink right now. Oh my God, look at it, altcoin season. I have to buy now. It's in a higher time frame level of supply. So with that being said, on the weekly, I mean, it's a bullish weekly chart with a nice W double bottom, and this supply zone it's in now is the neckline breakout, right? This is the neckline breakout, and you expect it to probably run pretty hard. Now the question is it going to pull back with this neckline breakout? It's very possible it does end up doing just that. Such a perfect tap of this one-day hidden order block over here. This happened last Saturday on the 12th of July. So if it does pull back, where should we be looking? Probably similar to, there's nothing on the weekly. Let's see if we can find something on a different time frame. Yeah. I mean, there's this, but it's so far away. No, I'm just going to go with my gut here, what my eyes are telling me. And I would say that if you pull back into these highs between the Monday mid-range to the Monday low area and the previous swing high levels, right? Because remember, people are so like scared of something like this happening. Everyone's mind has been so conditioned from just bearish price action for so long on altcoins. Like, people are really nervous that it's just going to nuke and just like rug pull. Because that happened multiple times already this year. So because people are so fearful of that, if we get a dip to $16 and we're trading at 17 right now, people are going to be like, nah, I ain't buying this. Look at that. It's topped, right? It's going to do one of these. It's going to do what it's done all year long every time it tries to break out, right? For example, May to June over here did exactly that. So people are just really conditioned by fear to not trust a bull trend right now, which is why I'm saying the pullbacks are not going to be like this. They're going to be more shallow. All right, so if we do get a pullback to this previous swing high level to the Monday low, we're looking at like 10%, 12% to the daily 200 EMA. I don't see it going much lower than the daily 200. Nav says Solana long. Now, doesn't make sense. Okay, if you wanted to long Solana, you should have done it on Tuesday or Wednesday, preferably Tuesday, when price was below Monday's low. Okay. Now, after this move, you want to long it. that doesn't really align with the way I like to go about trading, with the way I like to interact with the market, right? Because every time you take a trade, you're interacting with the market. I don't like to be a longer in a 1 week supply zone after a perfect Monday low sweep and an aggressive 10% move. That doesn't really make too much sense to me, right? 12.5% from the Monday low sweep. So to take a long entry now is playing with fire. It's playing with fire. Could work out, right? Maybe it just blasts through right up here to $200. It could happen, but I think the probability of that happening it's not actually that low right now because of how bullish the market is. But that doesn't mean you should just ape into a long right now in a 1 week supply zone, right? The entry was on Tuesday on the Monday low sweep or on Wednesday with the reclaim. Now, now it's like no trade. Maybe you can head short, but I wouldn't recommend doing that because the bears are getting blown out, getting absolutely blown out currently. So I wouldn't want to get blown out. So I mean, you have to be on the ball if you're going to try and counter trend trade and short, but you can look for that in here on the lower time frames if you get some type of signal that you look for. But overall, no, it doesn't make sense to long Solana in this price level. Guys, smash up that like button. Let's get some hype in the chat here. Smash up the like. Let's see. I'm hopping around the chat right now, so I'm definitely missing comments. Don't be mad if I missed your comment. It's not personal at all. We got a super chat right now from Ahad Musarat. My man Ahad, what's up, brother? With a 199 super chat. He says, any tokens to watch when Monad goes live? Yeah, for sure, man. And we got some Say meme coins you guys are recommending, but we'll look at those in a moment. Let's see. Ahad Musarat. Any tokens to watch when Monad goes live? Well, we already know. Atlantis is a big one. I'm not sure it has, or any other DeFi coin here has more traction organically than Atlantis on the Monad testnet right now. I think that Curvance is a huge project. They're going to be on the spaces today, actually. But in terms of lending and borrowing, right, this is going to be like the Moonwell or the Morpho of Monad, in my opinion. Definitely one to pay attention to when mainnet goes live. And as you can see, they're integrated now in the Atlantis NFT trading card collection on testnet. But anyways, something like Kuru could be interesting, but the problem with Kuru is the tokenomics are ass. Like, they raised $11 million from VCs. That means they sold out. The team basically took that cash up front and gave VCs a large control of the project. So that doesn't really give me too much confidence to be an investor of it, because there's other investors that got in so much lower and so much earlier. But it's going to be interesting when mainnet goes live and which projects get the most attention with real money, actually. But anyways, I bet big on Atlantis. We'll see what happens. And yeah, I mean, unless you're a VC, it's really hard to invest in any of these projects right now. You have to wait for mainnet to go live. Or if you got the sauce, like the Crypto Empire Mastermind does. Georgios is on the beach in Greece. Shout out DJ Khaled for that song Greece. If you're from Greece, you probably despise that song. But that's what that reminded me of. Is RVF coming back? I'm not sure about that one. Is it? Well, after finding a bottom and going down 99%, maybe, but that's gonna be a question I'm not gonna really give an answer to. But I mean, maybe it goes up to like 20 again, but I wouldn't call it a comeback back to where it was. I think that team absolutely blundered this one. They say Millie is the best say meme coin. Millie. I'll be the judge of that. The first dog on say. So 5 million pumping hard. That's the weekly. On the daily, it's in a very aggressive bull trend. It has given you 40% pullback. That's what you want to buy. The 40% pullbacks, 34% here. So as always with meme coins, I'd say you should look for a 40 to 60% pullback if you want to buy. So I'm going to have to let this one run without me because I have rules that I follow. And then Seiyan. People saying Seiyan. So let's check that one out ourselves. So this one also has been around from May of last year. Right, a bit of a Dragon Ball Z theme. Never heard of these coins before. First time I'm looking at them. This is 100% not an endorsement to buy or sell these tokens. I literally have never looked at these before in my life. But let's see, up a bit, right? If you're gonna buy any of these coins, you need to buy them on the 40 to 60% pullbacks. Here's one 60% pullback that just happened, and now it's up again. So, you know, if you want to ape into them, I have to do my own research on these say meme coins because I don't know anything about say meme coins personally. I don't know what's good, what's not good. I do know a little bit about abstract, right? I know a little bit about abstract. You guys should too if you watch the channel and you saw this video that we made. What was this, in May? I believe this was in May, right? Here we were talking about Pengu at a penny, right? Here we were talking about Appster over here at 15 million. Here it is now at 35 million. And then the other one is Newt, right? Newt, it was 14 million on May 3rd. And it's currently now 17. So this one hasn't really moved too much. But with Pudgy Penguin's success, it makes sense that the abs, because you have to understand what's going on. And also, this ties into something I've talked about before here on the channel. And what I've talked about in the past was how they're going to have to do like a really big marketing campaign for altcoins. Well, have you seen the Pengu token? Have you seen them on the NASDAQ with the opening bell or the closing bell, whatever, right on mainstream TV, all over the news? Pengu token, Pudgy Penguins, whatever. They're doing a mass marketing campaign for altcoins. It's literally happening in real time. So now what's happening is they're going to launch the abstract token soon. They're going to launch the abstract token soon. So that's why they're pumping Pengu so hard, and it's everywhere, right? It's all coordinated. But that should be a good trickle-down effect for abstract meme coins. So anyways, they're starting to move now. This chart is absurd. On Appster, very aggressive pump. Again, I wouldn't recommend to chase. I would say if you want to buy, you should buy a dip, a pullback. I mean, if you want to buy a 6% pullback, you can do that, but I would prefer like a 40%. And if it did give a 40%, it would come right to these order blocks behind this fair value gap on the daily time frame. So that's why patience is a virtue, and I would recommend to have patience if you're having FOMO, because the dip can come at any moment, guys, right? Dip can come at any moment. Here's the total 2, in supply. Total 3 right now, coming into, it is in a supply zone as well here. Look at the chart. Charts don't lie. Check the thumbnail. All right, this is a supply level on the daily time frame here. So everything is in resistance. Your majors, ETH hit its targets. I wouldn't be surprised if they just kept pumping, but that doesn't mean we need to be aggressive right now. I think it's actually the time to maybe not necessarily get bearish, but just be a little bit careful, right? And then we can look to really call a local top in for a pullback when we hit this on USDT dominance. Ondo, big breakout, yeah. Nice. As you can see, it's coming into these highs. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Right? Obviously, the bullish scenario is just like slice through resistance, but maybe it wants to bull flag in here and then go for the next leg. Maybe it wants to pull back and V reverse for the next leg. All I know is that this is not a level to open up a long trade. It's the level to take profit in long trades from lower. Doge is going for it, guys. We'll see what we get. Remember, Doge cannot go any higher until it clears this red box above 22 cents. So if it clears the red box, I mean, damn, we might get one of these. All right, we might get one of these moves. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen like go to the 1 month chart. Go to Doge on Coinbase 1 month. Man, what the heck is that? They just listed that then? Coinbase sucks, man. How are they going to list Doge at the top over here? What a joke. Absolute joke. Anyways, look at the monthly. Right? This is the June monthly candle. If we're really going to go ballistic, we're going to have one of these monthly candles. We don't have that yet. So we'll see, man. We'll see. But overall, I mean, I hope you guys were paying attention, right? I did what I could for this moment, right? In terms of being on here, live streams, nobody telling me to go live. I don't have to do this, but you know, I hope you guys are prepared for this. And if we get one of these monthly moves, well, we gonna be rich, boy. We gonna be rich. We're already not bad, but hey, we're gonna be a lot better. Any update on tech or techdom? I got wrecked on that. I was actually talking to a friend about how much money I lost on that coin today. It's what happens when you invest in a team from Dubai. No update on it. I have no idea. I got wrecked. So go ask the team, bro, because I definitely don't want to talk about that one. Let's see. Anything else here? Polkadot. Somebody holding Polkadot from 2021. Talk about a chronic bag holder. No offense to you, man. All right, it's just an observation, right? If you've been holding Polkadot since 2021, that literally means you've been sitting through all of this. You've been sitting through all of this. That's a long time to be holding that, okay? But let's dig into it. So it didn't quite hit all-time lows, but it did come into this demand zone that formed quite early on. All right, you can see it come into that demand on the bottom in June 22nd. Now we're seeing the up thrust from that. So, I mean, the chart's still at the bottom, even after going 50% up from that bottom a few weeks ago. I think that you're fine after holding this coin from 2021. If it's going to make a comeback and like start to go up, it's going to happen from around here. So, with that being said, I would say to prepare to finally see some gains on this coin, and maybe it runs back up to 15, maybe it runs back into the 20s, but I don't expect a new all-time high. Let me make that clear on something like Polkadot. I do not expect a new all-time high at all on this coin. And real quick, we're going to look at Pump Fund, the Pump token. How's that one doing? Remember, by the way, Trump is going to allow World Liberty Financial to be traded soon. But remember, Pump Fund, dev selling. Here's what the founder has to say about that. The jokes almost write themselves. Remember, I don't have any problem with any religious group out there. Before we get comments in the comments section from some trolls. But here's the Pump Fund token. I mean, man, you guys going to buy this? I'm not sure if you want to buy it, but maybe you get a reaction from this level. Maybe you get a bullish reaction. Okay? Everyone's mad at the coin right now. Everyone's talking shit about it on Twitter, and you're at the range low. I mean, the bet to make is to long it here, but you guys can determine if you want to do that. But you're at the range low, okay? So, yeah, the bet to make with everyone so pissed off at the founder is to look to long it from here and catch a move. But anyways, I have a Twitter Spaces literally right now. This thing is starting in 2 minutes. We got a Twitter Spaces starting in 2 minutes. So I got to go. All right. Corpo, Shane. If gaming comes back, it should do okay, man. But it's a very low cap, so it's going to move quick if it does ever come back. Anyways, go join me on the Twitter Spaces, guys. Follow me on X. Sign up to Blofin using my link down below. Apply to the Mastermind. Love you all. My name is Connor from Crypto Empire. And I will see you in the next video. Stay up, stay blessed. Peace out.